So, where do you see the opportunity within the cross-chain communication space, I guess? And so, like in terms of if you're a builder, if you're a trader, like I'm trying to make this um, relatable to the people that are listening.
Yeah, I think so. Currently, by far the most widely used application of cross-chain messaging is a cross-chain bridge, like a token bridge, which basically allows you to send a fungible token from one chain to another. And so, for example, like the Arbitrum bridge is something that's pretty widely used right now. Or like all these bridges that got hacked in the last year for hundreds of millions of dollars are also, I guess, stuff that clearly is widely used enough for people to put that much TVL in those bridges. And I think that's a very clear first use case, just because the need for that in DeFi is very obvious to everyone. But I actually think, or actually most of the people who are working in the space, like in the interoperability space, know that that's only a very small slice of the pie that of things you can actually do. So I think really the golden standard of like cross-chain messaging is generic message passing, right? Or general message passing. It's just the ability to send any message to any other chain. So one, for example, really cool thing that you can do is cross-chain, for example, like a cross-chain smart contract execution. So for example, like if you're developing like a DeFi
Oh
application
yeah.
and let's say the governance is
So you
in,
could do like a swap.
yeah, like a swap is one thing, right? But you can actually do that with just like a bridge as well. But like a cross chain, and that's a cool application, right? But like it's much broader than that even, right? So for example, like you could, let's say you have like a DeFi app, right? So for example, something like what is that Elastic stablecoin called again? Like the one that changes supply. Shoot.
The basis.
No, not
Um,
basis. Shoot. I literally just talked to them like a month ago. It's just escaping my mind right now. But anyway, let's say you have like a cross-chain stablecoin. Like this stablecoin lives across different chains. Let's say it's a decentralized stablecoin backed by like a bunch of basket of currencies, let's say. And you have it on Avalanche and on Ethereum layer one. And the governance functions are in Ethereum layer one. So you update your governance to, let's say, change the, let's say, like the minting schedule of those coins. But then how do you, I guess, like how do you communicate that between like what happens in your Ethereum layer one to all these other implementations that you have? I think this is like something that would be like really coolly enabled by cross-chain smart contract execution, right? Because you can have a token or you can have some code that exists in all these different chains, and it's something that whenever something is executed in one chain, it would also execute in other chains. And I think the applications of these are quite limitless in that to that extent.
right. Interesting. So in terms of a founder right now, like where can they build that's like ready to like what are some of the ecosystems that are live right now where they can build like interoperable projects?
Yeah, I think like definitely on Polkadot and Cosmos, they could definitely do that. On Avalanche, there's also a similar paradigm with subnets that they're trying to build, but the Avalanche messaging protocol right now is still very primitive from what I could see. Um, but yeah, definitely in terms of the pure cross-chain messaging protocols, I think right now Layer Zero and Axelar seem relatively usable to build a general application. And there's some people like us, for example, that are about to launch testnets or are in testnet phase right now as well. And none of these players really, especially not Polkadot or Cosmos, because they're solving slightly different problems, have gotten that much market share just yet.
Got it. Nice. That makes a lot of sense. So in terms of like analog for the next like 12 months, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to? Milestones coming up or anything?
Yeah, so we're kind of so right now we're still about to launch our first partners testnet, like a testnet that other people can actually play around with. So right now we're in the process of finalizing some initial partnerships, making sure that people actually use this testnet and actually like understand, like they actually build some really cool applications with it. And then also like maybe later this year actually be able to like launch a mainnet with some cool partners, yada yada yada, right? But I think like what all of these protocols, like including us, like what we really want to achieve is to kind of open people up to the possibilities of exactly what you could build with cross-chain messaging. Like because right now, I think the great majority of dApp developers or chain developers I talk to, they mainly think about token bridging as like the main application. And as I mentioned, that's only a very small portion of what you can do. So just kind of talking to as many teams as possible, telling them about exactly like all the cool things that you can enable that will make your life a lot easier with something like analog, and then having them build on analog later on, I think would be like something really cool to next year.
Nice.